Hey, what's up guys, welcome to FindGap, and in today's video we are going to learn the concept of controlled components in React.js. So in the first part of this video we will learn the concept, and in the second part of this video we will learn this concept with a practical. Without any delay, let's start. If you ever heard about React controlled component, you should keep in mind that in that component there must be some form elements, either some checkbox, some input fields, or maybe any text area. So now this can be single input field or multiple input fields or multiple form elements. If we talk about the definition of control components, then control components are the components which are managed by React state. So it means our input fields are synced with React state. So each time we will make some changes in our input field, our state will be updated. So now let me show you with practical. For example, this is our simple app component, and if I create an simple input field like text, and if let me create this field first, and now here I will type npm run dev. Okay, so this is our input field. Let me zoom in a little bit, and you can see that I am easily able to type something in it. But for example, you want to assign some default value, same as you do in HTML. What you will do, you will type here value is equal to findGap. So now if I refresh, and you can see that the default value is appearing, but now you want to add something in it. So you can see that I'm typing something, but I'm unable to type because in React you cannot provide directly a default value like this. So obviously there are another ways to provide default values, but the one way we can do is with a control component. And obviously the functionality or the feature of control component is not only to provide a default value to your input fields. There are many more benefits. So once you will understand this concept, you will learn. So now first of all, let me declare a state here. So I will type here const, and let me give it a name like val, and a callback function which will be update our state and use state, and that's. And now what we are going to do, we will simply copy this value, and let me provide a default value here inside our state, an empty string. Inside this value I will paste my state inside this. And now for example, let's assume user start typing something. So we obviously need to update our state, so this value can be synced here. Okay, let me again type here on change and handle input change. Now let me copy this function, and here I'm going to declare this function here. I will convert this to an arrow function like this, and we receive a default parameter which element event, and here we will use the set value function to update our state. So I will type here e dot target dot value. Okay, so now let me refresh, and you can see that obviously we are doing this. And for example, if you want to provide some default value, you can define here like findGap. Okay, so now you can see that we are easily able to type something. But one drawback of this is, let me zoom this console, and here inside our app component I will console something like component app is re-rendered. So this is because I have typed here, so you can check how many times our component is rendered. If I refresh, so default value was findGap. Let me clear the console, and if I type here a, you can see that our component is re-rendered. If I again type here f, again you can see that here we have 4 value, so it means our component is re-rendered. So now because our state is managing our input field, so each change will re-render your component. Obviously the drawback is you can see that too much re-rendering, but there are many benefits. So this is up to you that in which scenario you are working in your app. So either you should use this or not. So this is totally up to you, but there are many benefits. For example, you can provide a real-time application experience to your user. Maybe user is typing something in your form fields, and you can share this data which user is typing to your other components, or maybe you can do validation in real time. Let me show you. So for example, let me declare here, let me zoom out my code editor a little bit, and here I will create a br tag here, and after this let me create a p tag here, and we will give it style to color red, for example, and we need to provide this red in a string. and here we will not type semicolon but a comma. My error. Okay, now let me refresh. Obviously this is our error, but now we need to remove this. And for example, we are getting password from the user, so let me type here a placeholder, enter your password, and now user will see a placeholder here. If we will remove this default value from here, let me refresh, enter your password, you can see that. And now for example, whenever user try to type something, before updating our state, we will do some validation, like we will check let user value is equal to e dot target dot value, basically. So this is the event object that you automatically JavaScript give to you when you call this callback function, and by using the properties target dot value, we can get the current value that user is typing or user have typed until yet. And before updating our set value state, what we are going to do, we will check if user value dot length is less than or equal to 8. Then what we are going to do, we are going to define another state. For example, const error and set error is equal to use state. We will provide an empty string as a default value, so we will use this state to display update in our this p element. So for example, if user values length is less than 8, we will simply update our this state, and once this state will be updated, so obviously we will simply display that state here. Let me type here error, so whatever save I will in this state will be appeared to the user. So now let me type here something, set error, password character must be at least 8 characters. Okay, otherwise we need to type here an else statement, else set error and empty string. Okay, so we have done with our code. Now let me refresh, and if I type here F, so you can see that on real time it is saying that password character must be at least of 8 characters. And if I continue to type, so once the 8th character will be completed, and then you can see that error is gone. So this was just a simplest example. Obviously when you will work with form IK libraries like form IK, you will use these control components. And for example, in the last on form submission, you want to send this data using to an API. So what obviously you can directly get the state values easily and send them. So there are multiple benefits of control components, but some drawbacks as well. So I have tell you one drawback, for example, too much re-renders of your components. So now this is up to you that how you use this. I hope that this video will be helpful for you, and maybe you can get some clarity that what are control components. If I summarize, the control components are the components which are managed by React state. So please like this video, and if you want to learn React further, we have uploaded another tutorials on our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to visit our YouTube channel. And finally, thanks for watching.